Good morning, everyone. Today is February the 8th, and I'm going to be working on examples 2A and B. Now, if you look at example 2A, they did something that I don't agree with because it's very confusing. See where it says example 2 on the guided notes? They give you this definition. They give you I guess I need a pen, A squared x squared minus b squared. Now what's confusing is it looks like c is gone, but I need to correct something to avoid any misunderstanding. Let's get rid of this and let's call this, and here we go, I'm going to get rid of it, c squared, because that's really what it is. It's actual c squared. So if that's the case, then a is the coefficient of the variable x squared. B is always going to be 0 in this case, and c is the constant term, and sometimes that constant term will have a variable term. They can put anything they want there. That's the reason they're going with b squared instead of c squared. But just know that sometimes we'll have to make this adjustment, and I'll explain to you when and why. Okay, so let's work the first example. Let's work example A. So example A is x squared minus 49, and you see what I mean. If you look at this one, notice if I tried to find A, B, and C, well then A, in this case, would be positive 1. B, well, there's no middle term. It seems to be gone, so we're going to call that 0. And C is 49, but it's a negative 49. Well, according to this rule, if I could find something that I square, and by the way, 1 positive times 1 positive is 1 squared, which is equal to 1. And I could find something that I could square, in this case, 7 and 7, to get 49. But when I combine them, I know one is negative, one is positive. Well, when I do negative 7 plus 7, I get 0. And that's what I want for B. So I come over here and I say, all right, well, then I'm just going to do negative 7, positive 7, x and x. Well, then x minus 7, x plus 7. And we look at our directions again, and directions said factor each difference of squares. So we are done when we have factored that, and that means we are done. So that was pretty easy. So let's do question 2B. All right, so for 2B, what we're going to need to do now is we're going to need to start off by writing it down. And this one's going to be 49 q squared minus 4p squared. Now this time, you see, instead of a constant, there's a variable sitting there. So you would immediately think, well, wait up a minute. It's supposed to be a constant. No, it's whatever is at the end. There's no middle. And if you could create a perfect square out of the thing, then you know you got it. So what we're going to do is we are still going to find things that we could square together to create 49. Now, for lack of anything better, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, well, actually, let me get a different color here. I'm going to say, in this case, A is 49. Okay, that's a 9. Don't let that confuse you with the Q. Okay. And B is still 0 because I want the middle term gone. But C this time is going to be a negative 4. A negative 4. But keep in mind it's a p squared. So we got to treat it like we treat the q squared in the front. All right, so here we go. Let's see. I know that the only way I can make 49 to combine to give me 0 would be 7 and 7. And the only way I could make negative 4 to combine together to give me 0 would be a positive, excuse me, I should have done the negative first. So let me make that negative. Negative 2. Well, that's the ugliest 2 I ever draw. And a positive 2. Okay, so we come over here and we say, well, this seems to be working, so let's try it. There's a 7q, and over here, we're going to have negative 2 and positive 2. All right, so if this works out, we should have 7q plus, oh, we forgot something. We forgot the p's. Got to bring the p's in because what I need to create is negative 4p squared. 7q minus 2p. 7q plus 2p. Now, if we wanted to check it just to see if it works out, we could multiply these two together. And if we multiply those two together, we're going to get a positive 14. Here we go, ready? P, because P's come first, Q's come second. And then we do these two and we get negative 14. Remember, P comes first, Q's come second. And when I combine these, I get 0, which is what I wanted. That's the thought process behind what we refer to as math difference of squares. The first thing is squared, the last thing is squared. There's nothing in between. I'm going to go ahead and do the next 2 questions on a different video because otherwise they're going to get too complicated and it'll be too long and I won't be able to do YouTube. That's what happened yesterday. So hopefully you will practice. Remember, keep pausing the video after I write the expression down and then you try it.